Welcome to the Au. I'm your host, BeefLoaf. This show is being sponsored by our friends, Punky's Pizza and Pasta, located at 2600 South Wallace, my personal favorite eatery in the neighborhood. They have the best selection of pizzas and pastas, as well as sandwiches and salads of any spot in Bridgeport. Currently, they have a terrific Monday Nights Only special, one medium cheese pizza for $12.99. No promo codes, no minimums. Just place the order after 3 p.m. and you get one medium cheese pizza for $12.99. Toppings can be added, but for the normal prices. Hit the website, punkyspizza.com, for all your carry-out or delivery needs, or to cater your next party. And that could be for New Year's. I mean, they're right around the corner. You can also call 312-842-2100. The Scarlotta family will take care of you. Punky's Pizza and Pasta. This show is also powered by you, the loyal one-way supporter. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Feel free to tickle the undercarriage in the process. Like, comment, turn on notifications, and most definitely super chat, because it's how we get paid. It's how we continue to make the content you know and love. Tonight's guest. Very sorry to disappoint you. It's just me. It's me solo show. This is the last Au of the season, number 40. I told the Scarlottas, we're going to shoot for 40. We'll shoot for 40 episodes. Make sure they get their money's worth. And here we are on episode number 40. So thanks for coming through. A shorty, a quickie, if you will. I love the quickie. I know a lot of you do too, whether you can contain yourself or not. What I wanted to go through tonight, couple things. It's New Year's, or almost New Year's Eve. It's New Year's Eve, which is one of my favorite days. Because New Year's Eve, I'm at the point where going to New Year's Eve parties kind of suck. I'll still go to them, but I'm not that excited for them. I'm kind of like, I've just gotten to the age where I'd rather be doing something else usually than counting down, even though I love hanging out with my friends. Today's the day where it's like, oh, we're almost at the end of the year, but there's nothing going on. You're just chilling, hanging out. There's not even any fucking football, which is kind of shocking. I guess you got the Monday night football game that doesn't matter, Lions and 49ers, but that's really about it. One bowl game during the day. But I wanted to hit you guys with some New Year's resolutions, White Sox related New Year's resolutions, mind you. So I've got 5 of them. We'll hit those, and then I want to thank my after that I'll thank my guests, and we'll talk a little bit about this show and what direction it's going in. So number 1 on my White Sox related New Year's resolutions, and this is for the team. Okay, this is a team resolution. I want them to actually improve the defense. Last year, before the 2024 season, Chris Getz, we're going to be a much better defensive team. And then he put a lot of old has-beens out there. You had Paul DeYoung who couldn't move. You had Martin Maldonado who couldn't bend down anymore. And then, you had Dominic Fletcher get hurt in right field, and you had a lot more Gavin Sheets. And next thing you know, you were back to a very terrible White Sox defense. I want him to actually fix this defense for us this year. And I know I had people on Twitter telling me, Beef, you're falling for their trick. This is their trick. Fix the defense shit. No, I think they actually wanted to do it, but gets fucked up. He did it terribly. And I think for me, what I want is I just want to see something that looks cogent out there, something that looks like decent ball. I think we're at the point where the team has been so bad, we'll just take little upgrades here and there. I just like, a nice relay throw in would work well. And I like the approach so far. Getz has not went out and bought a bunch of old guys, with the exception of the corner outfield positions. That's fine. And up the middle, he's like, we're either going to sink or swim with these young kids, like the Colson Montgomerys of the world, or if they don't make it, Jacob Amaya, we know you can't fucking hit. You're going to be in there. You're going to be in that spot and kind of cover it up for you. I think there are some weaknesses. I don't love Miguel Vargas at third. I hate Andrew Benintendi. I'll be honest with you. Andrew Benintendi is the laziest, worst outfield defender I could ever remember. And so I don't know what they need to do. I don't know if they need to get him to read the card where he should be standing and figure out, or just sit his ass on the bench and DH him. Maybe put one of them young kids out there. Put Brian Ramos out there. I don't know if he knows how to play left field, but I know he's athletic. He's about the BeefLoaf's height, little trimmer, as you might imagine, and can move around out there. So that spot worries me a little bit. First base, Andrew Vaughn, too small, not a good defender, just bad with the glove in general. I would love for them to replace him with someone competent. But otherwise, it looks like they might be trending in the direction of, at least on the defensive side, the game will be watchable. And that's what I'm shooting for, baby steps with some of this shit. Just get me to a point where when I go to the game, it's not embarrassing watching your ass. And September was okay. But I want to push through that. So my first resolution for them, improve the defense. Resolution number 2, and this is also for the team, is shuffle through the bullpen options faster. And I think this, to me, this is Getz showing that he's the boss if they do this, because they went in guns a-blazing last year. They picked off all these weird bullpen parts. Brian Bannister's guys, put them out there. They didn't produce shit. And they didn't get a goddamn thing out of any one of these guys. They had to cut every single fucking one of them loose. They were all useless. The only guy they got anything for was a goddamn incumbent, Tanner Banks, and obviously Michael Kopech. But all the shit that Bannister has mismatched parts, he's the evil genius, goes out and gets them, and they didn't do shit. So I want a quicker leash on this, a quicker rip the Band-Aid fucking off and rip this bullpen. Once they got rid of all the garbage, it looked good. That bullpen was good the final 2 months of the year when they got the John Brebbias off there. Once they got the Dominic Leones off the roster, it looked fine. And I think some of this is like, initially gets beholding to the pitching guru of Bannister. But inevitably, you're the boss. Gets, if his things ain't working, fuck his guys. You got to get rid of his guys. Rip that thing out of there. And so I liked what I saw at the end of the year. I'd like to see more of that. I think Getz in general seems to be a guy willing to turn over the roster a little more. And that's kind of what I want to see. Like he surprised me, especially when I put his name into Grok. And I said, give me muscular Chris Getz. And he's like Hans and Franz in this picture. This is the Grok Chris Getz. He's here to pump you up. Yeah, that's the goddamn Chris Getz that I need. I need that guy in my life, right? That's the guy I have fun with. The White Sox have that guy taking charge, even if they're not good. He'll be throwing guys out of here, yelling at people. It'll at least be an entertainment product to the loaf. So number 2 was shuffle through the bullpen faster. These guys ain't working. Ship their fucking asses straight out of here. Number 3, and I'm gonna take a shot at promotions, marketing. We're friendly with the marketing department. Brooks Boyer and My Sox Summer are best friends, basically. But I need more out of them. I'm gonna be honest with you. If the product on the field is gonna be as bad as it's been, and I expect an uptick. I bet $1,000 on over 49.5 wins, but I don't expect it to be that good. I expect to clear that bar, but maybe not much more than that. I need them to step it up. They need to go back to when promotions were fun. And when the only reason to come into the ballpark was some sort of goofy and fun promotion, and actually expand it. Now you can get away with so much more. And White Sox Charities, to my knowledge, is a not-for-profit. Let's forget to split the pot. Get the fucking pull tabs in there, man. Get pull tab machines in each area in the concourse. You imagine that? The whole thing littered with pull tabs all over the place that people want, or lost pull tabs just laying around all over. It will be absolutely terrific. We need to go retro with some of this stuff and have a good time with it. Look, I need them to fix the goddamn White Sox Klinko board that never works. Fix that fucking thing. That thing could be fun. And put real prizes in there, all right? I don't want a signed helmet by whatever bullshit guy My Sox Summer's chasing down for some collection. Just give us cash money, all right? Or a gift card, but somewhere good, to a restaurant we might want to go to. Let's kind of work on that stuff. Yeah, I agree. Billy Wire says Kier takes all the charity money. You got too many guys stuffing their pockets. I bought tickets one time, and he said, no, only cash only, put the cash right in his pocket. So you can't always trust those guys. But, it does add an element of fun, at least, when you do that. How about doing some giveaways? Fuck having to even buy a ticket for any of these raffles. How about you just give a spot $1,000 bonus to one fan that went to the game? How fun would that be? They call your fucking seat number, and you win a dime? You fucking buying drinks all over the place? They gotta make the place fun to be at. Like, think outside the box. Think like you're a goddamn minor league team, because they're butting up against that sort of thing. We gave an idea to them. We gave them several ideas. I don't want to divulge all of them, but we had ideas for them in promotion. And one of our ideas was open up the goddamn ballpark for batting practice for both teams. As part of that promotion, we'd have a roped off area by the Miller Lite Bar, and that would be the 108 happy hour. And they'd serve reduced price drinks in there, and you guys would get to come in there and hang out with us a couple hours before the game, and we'd hit $2 Miller Lights or whatever it is, or whatever specials they want in there to have us doing. You got to push something fun. Give us a reason to get our asses in there. I don't like bobbleheads and trinkets and that bullshit. So give grown adult reasons, not these people that like all the collectibles. Some other shit for all of us. Please do that. Okay, and it's on you, promotion. Fix this stuff. Give us something to play with there. Let me get to a drink right here from Senior Sox. He says, if anyone needs a 108-day ticket, DM me. Got him for the low. Take him off my hands. Salute, Beef. Happy New Year, my friend. Happy New Year, Senior Sox. Appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate your support in the super chat, my friend. Hope we see you at 108 Day. I know you got 20 kids. We'll see if we can get wristbands. Then we can get your whole family in there. And actually, that would probably sell out the venue. So I don't know. I have to talk to Treasy about that because we got to put some people on the list. We got guests that we haven't announced yet for entertainment. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah. So number 3, just doubling back on this is go back to your roots and have some more fun promotions. Number 4 resolution for the White Sox, and this is front office. This is back to my guy Chris Getz. Is I need to see Chris Getz stay aggressive and stay transactional. And here's what I mean by that. You know, Chris Getz made a trade right after he took over as GM. This is probably 2 months after he took over. He traded Christian Mena, who a lot of people in the White Sox, nerd, minor league, prospect hugging group fucking loved. And he traded him for Dominic Fletcher. And so I got to bring Dominic Fletcher in here, and he's going to try to solve right field. And Dominic Fletcher, good on defense, fucking sucked at hitting the ball. Absolutely awful. Just could not hit. So what does Getz do this offseason? He does a very non-Hahnian thing. Rick Hahn would have just left his bullshit guy there and given him 50,000 chances to make it. Getz was like, well, fuck this guy. He ain't getting it done. I'm going to go out and sign a couple guys. He signs Austin Slater and he signs Mike Tuchman and he fills in these spots and says, look, Fletch, if you want to be in here, you got to actually play good. You got to fucking earn the spot. You and Oscar Colas, who's never going to earn the spot, he's probably never even going to see the roster. That's what you like to see. You like to say, okay, I made a mistake. Fuck, let's go. And we gotta get beyond this mistake. And they've been pretty good about it so far. You know, and they haven't gotten invested deeply. We'll know this year if they're really smart or strong about this stuff when they start bringing up some of the prospects. If they bring up Colson Montgomery, and he's a disaster for 2 months, if they make him ride it out as opposed to like sending him back down, then we'll kind of know, okay, well, some of these guys, he's not going to have this, this wielding an iron fist with, and I'll be disappointed with that. I prefer him to really push this and make guys earn things. And the more he does, I think that, I don't know if they'll find enough talent to be a good team, but at least from our perspective, we'll be like, okay, well, this team, all right, they're at least treating it seriously. They at least want to win here, and no one's just getting gifted or grandfathered in position. So, that's what I want. Front office, stay aggressive. That's my and transactional. That's my number 4 New Year's resolution for the White Sox. Number 5 has to do with you fans, okay? And I caught some backlash in the Festivus show for MFing the fans a little bit, but we deserve it. Okay, we deserve a little piece of that. Not that we don't have plenty of reasonable gripes, and we do. But here's what I want for the fans. Fans, enjoy this team on your own terms. If your terms for enjoying this team is MFing the owner and MFing every move they make and mocking them, do it that way, by all means. And a lot of people will. A lot of people have already been doing that. But let's say you don't want to do that. Let's say you're like, Beef, I kind of like some of these young players. I kind of like some of the pitchers they're picking up. I want to see how this goes. I kind of want to watch, how does Will Venable do or whatever. If you want to do that stuff, do it. Block out all the other shit. We know the owner stinks. All right, it's base case for us. We already know. Okay, you don't have to dwell on it. You can watch the ball, and if there are certain players you like, you can focus in on them. Or like I said, with Will Venable, how that's going to work. Or the new hitting program. Got Ryan Fuller in there. So, let's see if some of these guys turn a corner. Miguel Vargas or Ramos or some of these guys start hitting. Enjoy the team on your terms. And don't feel the pressure of, a lot of the fan base wants blood. That's fine. They can want blood. That's their prerogative. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. Similarly, you don't have to listen to me. I like getting into the minutia and all this shit. If you're like, Beef, go fuck yourself. This team sucks. And you can kiss my ass. That's good too. I'm going for that. But I don't want you to be peer pressured by the other side. All right? Enjoy this goddamn team like you want to enjoy this team. It's your leisure time. Right? And this is where you got to think about it stuff. You're not forced to do this. Okay? None of you are forced to do this. Despite what other podcasts tell you, you're forced to, you're not forced to watch anything. Watch it as much as you enjoy it, and that's it. So my 5th and final one is just that. Enjoy this team on your own terms, fans. Let me get to this drink. Husky Bardo says, Happy New Year's, Beef. Bardo, thank you. I appreciate you getting in the comments and dropping a drink. By the way, I'm drinking red wine tonight. Since it's New Year's Eve, I have a little Jordan Cab. That's like a California Cab staple. Not as prestigious as it used to be, but still tasty bottle. Very delicious. So those are my 5 New Year's resolutions. Maybe if you guys have yours, hit up the Twitters or whatever, throw them at me. Maybe we'll do some more of this on the One Way Podcast on Thursday. Now, before we get out of here, I wanted to go through kind of my year in review of the 2024 season of the Au Jus. I want to go through and thank everyone that came on this show and just highlight some stuff as we go along the way. So hang on a second. A drink from a longtime guy, Nathan Sheba, says, lost interest in socks. I should not have lost interest in your crazy socks panther. Thank you. Nathan, enjoy the team how you do, or don't. But we'd love to see you come out to the ballpark. Come and hang with the fellas at least. Glad you're doing well. Happy holidays, my friend. Have a happy new year. Very kind of you, Nathan. Very kind of you. So yeah, I want to go through the list of everyone who's been on the show. Episode 1 of season 2 was a guy who is effectively retired from the game right now. He's like Cuddy in The Wire, and that's Matt Zawaski. I had him on as the leadoff episode. He's a guy who stepped back from doing absolutely any content, really. I had lunch with him a couple months ago. He's doing great, and he says he still keeps an eye and keeps tabs and looks at stuff. And what's funny is I knew he actually did watch some stuff because he had some good callbacks. Not like the people who try to fake like they watched it, and then they don't know what we just talked about when they bring up a topic. It's kind of funny. But it was, that was a good episode, fun episode. I loved cutting it up with Matt. I don't know when he's going to be back doing this, but it just shows you, look, it's not for everyone to be doing these things. As much as I make fun of all these Sox podcasts, a lot of them died during the year. They couldn't make it through this group. Episode 2 was James Fox. I will for sure have him, Ian Eskridge, on doing more stuff about minor leagues throughout the year. Episode 3, I had Danny Conrad from Barstool, which was a really interesting story, how he went from being like their social media guy in the small Barstool Chicago office to now he's getting on air. He does dog walks some days. I see him on the Yak, so kind of interesting path there. If you're not into the content side, you probably won't be into those types of interviews when I do them. But for me, some of this Au Jus stuff is just for my own edification. I like listening to some of these stories and hearing how this stuff comes about. Episode 4 was Treasy. He came on to talk about the White Sox bullpen. I love cutting up with Treasy or MSS on this show, especially if there's stuff we can't get to on the main show that we just want to drill down on. This is going to be the avenue for it, and it'll continue to be in 2025. Episode 5 was Kevin Powell. Kevin Powell from WGN, who ghosted us. He didn't ghost us. He told us he couldn't make it very late in the Festivus show. But I love cutting up with him. He is hilarious, and I'll definitely try to have him on, or we'll have him on the 108 podcast again. Just funny guy. And there's a nice group of local guys that aren't, I wouldn't call them hardcore Sox Twitter, but they're nice people to have on these shows because they know enough about the Sox and enough about Chicago where you can give a good Chicago feel from that. Episode 6 was Alex Rude. Alex Rude will for sure be back on this show probably sometime very near in the new year. He's one of the handful of people on the Sox Twitter that like to get on here, dig into the minutia, talk Sox stuff. That's some of the element of the show is one-on-one guest that's going to get real deep on some stuff with me, and that's always good stuff. Episode 7, Rob Hart, very similar to having Kevin Powell on, just a good local guy that knows a lot of stuff. Episode 8 was Steven Nelson from Dodgers pre and post and ESPN. I actually woke up in the middle of the night. Bonita and I, we have sleepovers on our wraparound couch on weekends. Woke up in the middle of the night with a cramp in my leg, probably from drinking too much. And I look on the TV, and there's Steven Nelson doing Sports Center. So it's good to see him there. He had technical difficulties when we did the show, but managed to get through it. Episode 9 was Treasy and MSS, History 108 Attorney. Episode 10, Tom Fornelli. I had Tom Fornelli on. That was the last time I had him on before he decided he's not a Sox fan anymore. He became a Giants fan. I may still try to have him back on, talk college football or whatever. But he unfollowed me, and there was a big, hullabaloo. And I have mostly been mocking the media guys that renounced their throne of White Sox fandom. And so I don't know. I haven't mocked him openly very much. There's been other people I've mocked. But I don't know. I might wait a little bit and see if I would have him back on. Episode 11 was me solo, so who cares? Episode 12, Ken W.O. Episode 13, NWI Steve. Again, the Sox Twitter contingent. Episode 14, Eddie Barstool. This is before any of the Bernstein stuff. Eddie gave some great tips on interviewing and just basically making a good podcast. He's for my money, he's the best podcast host in the city. And I think he's the best podcast host at that company. That's my opinion. After that, Treasy, we just did anonymous feedback. I'd like to do that again. People give us anonymous feedback, and then we just talk shit back about the anonymous feedback. That was a lot of fun. Episode 16, I had Nick Schaefer on. Nick Schaefer disappeared from Twitter. I don't know if he went over to the blue sky. I have not ventured over to the blue sky. I probably will not, unless the Twitter machine crashes or there's some reason for me to go over there. So, but I'd like to have him back on. Episode 17 was me solo. 18, Jordan Lazowski, who I love talking to. Episode 19, I had Danny Rocket. He's like a Cubs blogger and stuff. I'm interested in the other side of the aisle. Not so much about their thoughts on the Cubs, but just how things work and just we're all fucking Chicagoans. You know, let's sometimes get together on some of this stuff. Episode 20 was a thrill for me. I had Julie Swyka, who used to be on 670 Score back in the day, and she was great. She actually, she gave a great interview. We talked for like an hour afterwards. We even got her and her husband to come out to a Cubs Sox game, which was kind of cool. So it was, it's nice when you can do an interview like that and make a nice connection through Twitter. Episode 21 was my birthday episode, so I had Baloney interview me. Which was a lot of fun. I'm not used to getting interviewed quite like that. Episode 22 was Chirizi on the Eric Fetty trade. 23 was Josh Nelson, MLB draft. 24, I had Kevin Kaduk from CHGO on. And what was interesting about that is getting the thesis for what is CHGO and talking up the fellas that do the Sox show. And you fast forward 4 months, and that Sox show has been kind of ripped apart. And I was rewatching some of the videos. I was like, oh, I wonder if they still think this stuff. It was very interesting to hear, oh, this is how we think about it. It's like, well, I guess not for Sox coverage anymore. That's gone. That's gone by the wayside. Episode 25, I had Joe Binder from Sox on 35th. Fun conversation. Episode 26, Jackie Crestel. Episode 27 was probably the most popular episode of the year. And I had multiple people reach out to me, people who do content and the people who don't, say, Beef, this is the path. This is the avenue here. Is I had Patches O'Houlihan, that's Sandra. She's a Yankees fan. She's just a menace on Twitter. But that was a very popular episode. People really enjoyed that. And I agree, it is good to have other personalities from other Twitter fan groups on a show like this. But I don't think you could just randomly do it. I don't think you could just like put out a list and say, hey, if you root for this team, reach out to me. I think I've got to find them and cultivate them. Like that. The reason that one was good is because we have, we're Twitter mutuals, and I know she's hilarious, and I knew she knew ball, but I didn't know she knew ball like she did. Like that was a good baseball conversation too, and just a lot of fun and goofy shit in that one. And so like that's going to be the model of stuff I'll try to do more often next year. I'm trying to get some other fan bases in here, try to have some fun with it, try to get their anguish, the things that they're kind of into. And a babe too. Yeah, I mean, she is beautiful as well. That it doesn't hurt, right? So, but a very fun and entertaining guest. Episode 28 was also a real good episode from my personal opinion. The ones that I really liked is I had John Greenberg on. We talk local media stuff. I'd love to have John back on. We had him on Festivus. He was fucking hilarious. He has this sense of humor that the 108ers have. And actually, when he comes through the ballpark and he'll sit with us for a couple innings just shooting the shit, it's usually a very fun conversation. So I wish John knew a little more about kind of the Barstool stuff too, because weaving that in would be kind of fun. Is there like kind of a strong chunk of local Chicago media? But we'll work on that. We'll get him going on that. Episode 29, I had Recovering Prof on. Great discussion going the other way on the Eric Fetty trade. Everyone was bashing it. Prof, no. He said, no, that's kind of what market value is. I'm starting leaning towards his way of thinking on that. Episode 30, I had Ian Eskridge from Future Sox. And that was me shredding their top 30 list. I went to Ian and I said, hey, I'm going to ask you some critical questions about this list. He's like, bring it. And I think for me, Ian Eskridge is the perfect guy for that because we have a good rapport. But also, he won't take bullshit from me if I lean into him on someone he disagrees with. He'll come right back over the top. And we've fought it out about Lenny and Sosa over time. And like just showed me like, that's, okay, this is the right guy. If I'm going to do this type of thing, I think I might do that every year. I will have Ian on to go back and forth with some of these. It was a lot of fun for me. Episode 31, Scott Merkin. I love Scott Merkin. Everybody loves Scott Merkin. Episode 32 was kind of a dream come true for me, as I had Joe Sheehan on here. I've been a long time fan of Joe Sheehan. I've read Joe Sheehan for 20 years, and the fact that he agreed to do the show just warmed my fucking heart. And as much as I love all my guests, that was really fucking cool for me to get a chance to do that. Episode 33 was me solo. 34 was My Sox Summer and I doing the GFY Awards, which will come back next year. The GFY Awards worked pretty good. I think the Punky's people were happy with the promotion, getting those gift cards in your hands. I think we're going to do more of that in 2025. We shall see. Episodes 35 through 37, Treasy and I trading with every team. A lot of fun doing those. I'm unsure if the approach we took, where we did it super long form, is the approach we'll continue at taking, or if we won't mix some of that into 108 podcast, or if we shorten it up and only do a couple of the trades, because the blogs tend to get a lot of runway. They get a lot of views, a lot of clicks. The videos didn't do as well as I thought they might do. So might rethink that, but that's an exercise we'll never stop doing. That's something we love doing. It kind of helps us with everything. Episode 38 was Barstool Carl. I've been wanting to get Barstool Carl on for a long time. He absolutely delivered. He had some hilarious stories, great talk about blogging and just content in general. And then episode 39 was My Sock Summer, talking about Sox Fest Live. My Sock Summer was terrific on that. Like that's when you're in his wheelhouse. I mean, there's no stopping him. He's the absolute best there is out there. So thank you to all my guests that I had on during the year. Just very quickly, things I might do different. As I mentioned before, there's some stuff I may cut, but one thing I kind of want to do is have multiple guests. And the three of us really discuss a topic. I think there's too much in the podcasts right now of, okay, now what's your take? Okay, now what's your take? Instead of a conversation and where people weave in and out of each other. We've been trying to be better about that in the 108 podcast where we have a real discussion. And there's points and counterpoints. And it sounds like you actually discussing it at the bar, not, all right, everyone wait for this person's take. Okay, now it's that person's take. It can get boring after a while. So I kind of want to, if I can find the right mix of people to come on that are passionate on either side of an argument, especially White Sox related, I think we'll try to do that a couple times during the year. Let me get to this drink real quickly. Gordo says, cheers on a great year, Beef. Thanks, Gordo. Appreciate it. You're not supposed to be tipping. You're supposed to be saving this for the surgery. But I appreciate you, my friend. And feel free to give some free drugs to my sex on. Thank you. And then lastly, what will the show look like in 2025? I assume Punky's Pizza will still be involved. Shot them a note. But they have seemed happy with the sponsorship of the show so far. I think it's going to be about 25% me and the 108 boys doing some shit on here, extra shit that doesn't get in the podcast. It's going to be 25% Sox Twitter people talking ball. So Alex Rude, Jordan Lazowski, potentially some future Sox guys. You guys know my regulars that I usually have on here, Ken W.O. or whoever. That group will probably come on here and talk something. And then the other 50%, I want to continue to do interview style. The only issue with interview style at this point is I've gotten through the guests where I know their material pretty well. And so now I'm getting into the guests where I'm going to have to study a lot harder and be a lot better at researching and asking questions because I won't know the material that well. I know some of their material, but then I'm like, I could sound really stupid if I ask a certain question. So it should be an interesting year from that perspective. I have a huge list of people that I want to get to, and we'll see when I have time that bears that allows me to it. So that's it. I appreciate you guys sticking with me here for this solo show. Next week's guest, I don't have anyone booked yet, although I have an entire list of people that I want to get down on, but we will have a show on January 6th. I know it's a big day for some of you. Some of you really absolutely love January 6th, so we can't miss that one. I want to thank Punky's Pizza and Pasta for an entire year of sponsorship. It's wonderful that they jumped on board with this project. This is not the main show. This does not have the other strong characters on there. It doesn't get viewed as much as all that stuff, so I appreciate them, kind of having my back on this stuff. It's great. And all of you in the 108 family that come to these Aju shows, watch, throw a tip in there, throw some comments in there. Very appreciative of all of you. So anyway, have a happy new year. We'll see you on the other side. We are going to have the 108 podcast on Thursday, January 2nd. We do have a huge guest coming up. You could probably guess if you know who we usually have in early January. Might not be this Thursday, but could possibly be next Thursday. So take care, everyone. See you, and I love all of you. Bye-bye.